RoboVac manufacturers have long tried to figure out the key to the threshold question. How do you get a flat puck to cross the unpredictable, jagged terrain of your apartment or home living room? After all, there's so much to get caught up on. Rugs, room dividers, big ol' power cables. The list of potential hazards is endless. Some manufacturers have opted for the RoboVac equivalent of a self-rising suspension. Roborock's Adaptalift system is a textbook example of this sort of thing. That said, you know what other form of locomotion has no trouble climbing over obstacles? Legs. That was surely on a whiteboard somewhere at Dreame HQ, and the end result of that thought is the brand's new ProLeap system. It leverages the power of both legs and wheels with a set of gear-driven risers that drop from the bottom of the vacuum and let it climb over stuff. Not content with, sort of, reinventing the wheel, Dreame also tossed in a retractable LIDAR turret to let the X50 sneak under furniture. There's also real-time obstacle avoidance capability and a twin pad mopping system. So, how do all these gadgets work in the real world? Hi, I'm Alex from Ratings.com, here to answer that and more. As Dreame's flagship model, it should come as no surprise that its Dreame Home companion app is loaded to the gills. There's the standard suite of scheduling and room editing functionality that you'd expect, along with multi-floor mapping for up to 4 floors. You can also track the vacuum's position in real time as it maps out your home too. Once that mapping process is all done, you can also manually select the surface type in different rooms, along with setting up virtual boundary lines for areas you don't want the X50 to enter, or label low-lying areas where it'll retract its LIDAR turret. You can also tweak the behavior of its ProLeap system by having it cross obstacles one leg at a time, which is helpful for uneven obstacles and barriers, or with both legs simultaneously. If you're really worried about the vacuum marking up your floors, you can also use the cleaning along floor direction feature so that it cleans parallel to floor seams, like gaps between panels on a hardwood floor. There's a whole suite of pet-specific functionality too. There's pet avoidance, which slows the vacuum down when it's near animals and keeps it away when they're directly in front. There's the pet pictures feature too, which, as the name implies, uses the built-in camera to take a snapshot of your furry friend and fires it off to your phone. Very cute. Look, going any further into the full feature suite of this app would probably take the rest of this video, so trust us when we say this app offers enough functionality for even the most particular of owners. As a self-respecting high-end RoboVac, it's no surprise that the X50 Ultra comes equipped with a multi-function dock. It uses high-capacity dirt bags and has a clean water tank with more than 4 liters of capacity, so you'll only need to inspect it, refill it, and empty it out every week or two. The vacuum's mopping pads also get treated to a spa day. They're blasted with water heated up to 176 Fahrenheit, or 80 degrees Celsius, which is a higher temperature than what most flagship robot vacuum docks get up to, and helps sanitize them. The pads are also blow-dried with warm air. So, how does this thing actually perform? Let's start with the bare floor performance. While we wouldn't say things fall completely apart for the X50 here, it'd be fair to say that we expected more from a flagship model like this. Thanks to its relatively strong airflow, we measured upwards of 13 CFM, it's quite effective in dealing with bulky debris. However, it struggles a fair bit with finer material. Despite the extending side brush, this vacuum still isn't that great at clearing away debris from walls and corners. Its mopping system also delivers mediocre stain clearing performance, and you might find it more time efficient to just break out the old mop and bucket for any pasta sauce spills in your kitchen. It's a slightly more positive story on carpets. The X50 does a good job of clearing away things like cereal or rice. That said, while its twin rubber brush rolls do have nylon bristles, they still don't provide all that much surface agitation. You'll likely need to have the vacuum run another pass or two to fully clear away heavily embedded fine debris or pet hair. Dreame doesn't make any crazy claims about the X50's obstacle recognition system. Sure, it's an on-paper improvement over cheaper RoboVacs. The X50 uses both a color-capable camera and a 3D structured light sensor, instead of just the former. The manufacturer claims the onboard AI system is trained to identify up to 200 types of obstacles. But honestly, a lot of this stuff isn't too different from what a lot of other manufacturers claim, with some of their own offerings doing quite poorly in our own testing. Roborock reactive AI. We say all of that as a preface, since Dreame must have figured out the secret sauce to this whole obstacle avoidance thing. The X50 is super reliable when it comes to spotting and correctly identifying things like socks, slippers, furniture legs, coat racks, mirrors, and yes, even pet waste. USB and charging cables are still its Achilles heel, but honestly, it's still far better in this respect than the majority of other models on the market. The Pro Leap system is thankfully far from a gimmick too. The X50 has comparable approach angles to a Rubicon-ready Jeep, and unless you have actual boulders in your home, this vacuum isn't likely to get stuck. The VersaLift system is also very handy. When the LIDAR turret drops into the vacuum's body, it can slip under most couches and chairs with little fuss, though it isn't quite as slim as the Roborock Saros 10R that we also recently tested. Speaking of the Saros 10R, we recently published our video review of that exact model. It's one of the closest analogs to the Dreame X50 Ultra in terms of pricing and features. Like the Dreame, the Roborock isn't necessarily chasing outright debris pickup performance, but instead, general autonomy. Almost all of its fancy new features are meant to improve maneuverability in cluttered spaces. The Roborock's slick new StarSight solid-state LiDAR system makes it even slimmer than the Dreame with its LiDAR turret retracted, and it offers comparable obstacle avoidance performance too. Both the Dreame and Roborock's respective systems are far better than Roborock's old Reactive AI and Reactive AI 2.0 systems. While the Roborock's AdaptLift chassis lifting system doesn't allow it to climb over obstacles quite as easily as the Dreame, it's definitely not a slouch in that department either. These vacuums are very evenly matched in terms of features, but we found that the Roborock provided slightly better performance overall, especially when it comes to bare floor debris pickup and mopping performance. If you can't quite stretch to the latest and greatest thing on the market, the Roborock Qrevo Curv is still a highly compelling option. Since it's a great alternative to the Saros 10R, it should come as no surprise that you should also give it a look if you're considering the X50. It doesn't have the Dreame's fancy retracting LiDAR sensor, and despite using a similarly designed hazard detection system, it's far worse at actually avoiding obstacles. That said, it still offers a plethora of in-app cleaning customization functions. It's a better option for deep cleaning hard floors too, with better debris pickup on hard surfaces and a far more effective mopping system. Lastly, there's the Dreame L40 Ultra, a great option if you can't justify spending the equivalent of a down payment on a lately used car for a RoboVac. It has a more rudimentary hazard detection system than the X50, and as a result, it won't navigate around obstacles quite as consistently as its newer and pricier brother. That said, it still isn't terrible in this department. To make a long story short, we like the Dreame X50 Ultra. Mostly. It's a pretty big step in the right direction for fulfilling the promise of fully autonomous cleaning. It's got excellent navigation and avoidance performance, and a big selection of user-selectable options that'll ensure it'll seldom get stuck on some household hazard. That said, its closest competitor, the Roborock Saros 10R, does all these things too, all the while offering much improved debris pickup on hard floors and a far more capable mopping system. Of course, if neither of these things are massive selling points, then by all means, go for the X50. You'll be rewarded with one of the smartest robot vacuums on the market. So that's it for our review of the Dreame X50 Ultra. If you're interested in more detailed performance data, you can check out the full review for this vacuum on our website. Until next time, I'm Alex from ratings.com, where we help you find the best products for your needs. Bye! Not content. Huh? Oh, I see. Sorry. Let's start with I was gonna say Blair 4. Blair 4 performance. From here on out, there are no more errors. You heard it here first. Especially when it comes to bare flare. Why do I keep messing this up? Bare floor, bare floor, bare floor. A bare floor performance.